And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. I just thought of something, man. I know it's on D Live. They started to show my podcast now. It's been a while. I think once I stopped kind of shifting from talking about damn, what is it called? COVID-19. I completely forgot the name of it. Once I stopped talking about that and talking about Trump and elections and stuff, they let me. It's funny because I can talk about crypto. Right, you would think I wouldn't be allowed to talk about money and stuff. I can talk about this stuff, but they probably think, well, they already know what they're gonna do with the money anyways. They'll probably let us be able to make millions of dollars, but they're gonna make billions. The bankers are gonna make trillions of dollars. So our little millions of dollars that we can make from crypto won't be shit in comparison to them. Gotta throw that out there. Got a kind of little variety of topics today because Basel 3 has something to do with gold, banking. I want to show you guys something that Christine Lagarde has came out and said today in her comments at I think it was Brussels Economic Forum. The Bank for International Settlement, they dropped their annual report, and it kind of talk about central bank digital currencies. So I wanted to go over a little bit of that, some other little crypto news, and I want to talk about Britney Spears' conservatorship because just I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I just want to talk about it because it goes to show you exactly what goes on in this world. That the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That everything is not what it appears to be. Everything is not what it seems to be. So you can look at someone's life and you might think, oh, they got a good life. No, you should focus on your own fucking life, right? Because you can't compare your life to someone else because you don't know what that person's trials, tribulations, the stress, the pressure, the depression, the mental illness, the body ache, whatever they got going on in their life, you don't fucking actually know. You look at a person like Britney Spears and think, oh, she's had such a great life. In reality, she's a fucking slave. It's a flat out slave, bro. It's not my words. She made the song. I'm a slave for you. Me and my friend was talking about it the other night. She was like, "Oh, I've been talking about Britney Spears being a slave. She came out with a song, "I'm a slave for you." Like, what you think that was about? It's so funny how people just ignore the obvious. They put her on stage at MTV Awards and put a snake in her hand. Man, but well, I'll get to that later on and stuff, man. But let's go and hop into these topics. So this is an article from Zero Hedge. It says Basel 3 regulations finally kicked in. What this means for gold. So it's a long article, and I read majority of it yesterday or last night or whatever. I can't remember. It was during one of my kids' practices or something like that. But kind of cover the gist of it. So it has a little paragraph. I'm gonna read it. It says, in a nutshell, Basel 3 evaluates allocated gold in tangible form. So allocated gold is your actual physical fucking gold. Now, as I read this, you'll be shocked how much sense this makes. Your first thought would be, why hasn't it always been like this? So it says, in tangible form, to be classified as a zero risk asset under the new rules. Zero risk meaning there's no risk involved, right? The best asset you can have is the ones where there's no real risk and no real risk of you losing your money or devaluation or something like that. It says, but unallocated are the hated by gold pursuit purists, quote unquote paper gold, which banks typically deal with the most often, won't, meaning banks holding paper gold must also hold extra reserves against it. So paper gold is saying, oh, you have it on paper that you have gold, but you actually don't have the physical, you may or may not actually have the physical gold in that bank location, which you're talking about. It could be somewhere else. And you're basically saying, oh yeah, I got it, but I don't have the gold to prove to you that I got it. All the same as fiat currency. You see how all this shit is a Ponzi scheme? It's all made up. Like anytime I try to explain money to people and stuff, let them know, like, look, it's all made up. It's all Ponzi scheme. Where you're talking about crypto, you're talking about fiat currency, dollars. It doesn't matter. It's all made up. Yeah, you can have real currency. I mean, we want to really get down to it. We can have real currency. Food could be a currency. That's real valuable, right? Right? I mean, we have uses for gold, not just jewelry. It's in our body and stuff. It goes in our electrons, other things. I mean, and it just stays the same. It's a finite resource, it's not infinite. You can't print it into oblivion and stuff like that. So it has value, and there's a reason why it's been used for, I don't know, thousands of years. Gold and silver. You go back to the early ages of Sumerian culture, Babylon, stuff like that, where they're trading gold and silver, things like that. Um, so it makes sense, right? And it says new liquidity requirements, meaning how much assets you have liquid available to trade or sell or buy or whatever, aims to prevent dealers and banks from simply saying they have the gold or having more than one owner of the gold that they have on the balance sheet. Basically saying if you have it, then there's zero risk, because if you have the actual gold bars, then you're good. I question how much gold the United States of America actually has. It's probably not in Fort Knox like you think it is. Um, who knows where it's at? I question how much gold the actual Federal Reserve has. That's why they don't get audited. Because they did, we'll probably realize that everybody is fucking broke. I mean, all this is a Ponzi scheme. Literally, the dollar ain't shit. I seen something on Twitter the other day, and I looked it up. And I'll say it. The websites I found where I didn't know too much about them, so I didn't want to really go too much into it. But you can do your own research. Why is the Iraqi dinar? It's $1, $1 is worth 1,400 something to Iraqi dinar. You talking about military industrial complex? Something I learned from Tori Says, where she said, "Hey, if you hold on to Iraqi dinar, you're gonna have some money." There you go. She said a few months back. There you go. Here it is. Come up on the forex is only trading against the dollar, and that's it. So the U.S. dollar, $1 is worth 1,400 something. I think like 454 or something like that. Iraqi dinari. And you think, I was trying to figure out how the Iraqi dinari is so much. Well, think about it. But they have resources, right? Minerals, oil. They actually do real production. They actually are producers of something. I mean, we're the United States of America. Supposed to come together for economical reasons when we're dealing with international trade and any foreign threats. But each state is a producer of something. The federal government is not a producer of anything, more or less a taker of something, a middle person, a middle intermediary entity. In the middle, I just said the same thing twice, but yeah, there's an entity in the middle trying to negotiate deals as we do with other people around the world. In my mind, that's just my own personal opinion. I don't know actually how that works for us. Does the state work with? Because even when states work with other states, I think you have to go through some federal agreement. I don't know if the government is involved in that, or I don't even know if a state can work with another country unless the government is involved. So, but from what I know so far, it doesn't sound like it's plausible without the government stepping in, because fuck, you can't do shit without the government stepping in. But you gotta think about it. Why is the Iraqi dinar way more than the dollar? Well, the dollar ain't shit. And a lot of these fiat currencies ain't shit. They ain't backed by nothing, man. You need something of value. You need something of value. The only thing with gold is the transportability issue. Can't transport gold everywhere. But don't worry, if you had, I don't know, digital asset, something like an XRP that was backed by gold. Huh. Almost like it's all done by design. Isn't that what IMF said? Electronic SDRs, basket of currencies, backed by gold or something like that, as a new world reserve currency. Bretton Woods Agreement 2.0. I mean, I'm not making this shit up, right? I'm not making this shit up. These aren't my words. It's stuff I found on the internet. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, this article pretty much goes into talking about the Basel III agreement, and it's just a requirement having let's see, it says while Okay, well, a little background. So the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, which sets standards for regulation of banks. And you hear often in the crypto community like, oh, when we have regulation, we wait on regulations. I think it's a misconception because we all think of regulations in the sense of governments, but it's actually regulations from banks, banking committees, international banking organizations, IMF, the World Bank, Bank for International Settlements, your central bank of central banks, right? And then the governments just kind of follow along because governments get their money from central banks. Pretty much all these countries that abide by UN or international trade, they go along with central banks. Unless you know who, we all know who owns the world. We all know who runs the world. It's central banks. The people are in association with that, and then in that circle, they hide in plain sight. Probably born ass names, probably never you barely recognize them. Male, female, all ethnicities, from all religions and all backgrounds. It doesn't matter because money is money. Nobody gives a fuck. Let's see. So they developed what is called Basel III in response to the global financial crisis. A lot of stuff stems from 2008. As such, Basel III was envisioned as a multi-year regime change that aims to prevent another global banking crisis by requiring banks to have more stable assets and fewer ones deemed risky. It's all about liquidity. That was the biggest issue in the 2008 crisis. And the XRP is literally designed to be a liquidity settlement token to not have that issue. Because they knew the same issue that happened in 2008 was going to happen again because they do the same illogical fundamental principles of economics. That's what I think is on purpose. I believe it's intentional. They have to crash all this stuff intentionally so they can bring out something new. And they just Ponzi scheme. It all's going to come to an end anyways. Says a rule overhaul is defined by the Bank for International Settlements, also known as the central bank, as an internationally agreed set of measures that aim to strengthen bank regulation, supervision, and risk management. So the head bank, the Bank of International Settlements (BIS), they're the central bank. So all the central banks around the world get their money from them and stuff, and their policies set from them. So you gotta think of it as a tier system, right? We always want to think of a pyramid top down, right? It's fucked up because it really shouldn't be that way, but that's how we think of it. So if the BIS is at the top, and then say a Federal Reserve or maybe a Bank of England probably is at the top, whatever. Then you have all these other banks underneath it, J.P. Morgan, Chase, and everyone else just kind of follows in line because of what if the majority of the people with majority of the money decide that they want to go off on a new standard or rule and stuff. It's a domino effect, cause and effect. Everybody follows their ass in line. Universal laws, cause and effect. It's a trigger effect, like a rip. God damn it. A ripple effect. Didn't even mean to do that. But you can always see why they use the name Ripple. It's like one big ass joke. They know what they're doing, man. They know we go get to these banks and work with them and make money a little bit more fundamentally sound and stuff. All it takes is one little puddle, like one little pebble, excuse me, that you throw into a pond, and then a wave create, and then you have the ripple effect. That's it, man. That's it. It says while there are many nuances, what is relevant to gold is that under the new regime, physical or allocated gold like bars and coins will be reclassified from a tier 3 asset. Now here where it gets annoying and sounds really stupid. So gold, physical actual gold, coins, bars was a tier 3 asset, the riskiest asset class. How is actual physical gold the most riskiest asset class? Now you either gotta think all these people are complete fucking morons, or they do it intentionally by design. Then again, it's a combination of both. It's a combination of both. You always gotta find that third option. Sometimes we think of the world of black and white, and sometimes we think of the world as gray. And for me, it's like I don't think in those terms no more. I think you used to think, oh, black or white, and I'm like, everything's gray. Really, what it is universal laws. End of the spectrum, polarity. You have one end, and you have the other end. And you have everything in between. So what it comes down to is There's always another perspective. It's not this or that. It could be this and that. It could be this. It could be that. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's always that third option. There's always that third perspective. There's always that another way to look at a problem, or another way to look at something, another way to perceive anything in this reality. So now with this reclassification, it's a tier one, zero risk weight asset, which makes all the fucking sense in the world. All the fucking sense in the world. Just putting it, quote, right alongside with cash and currencies as an asset class. So you're telling me this whole entire time, right? Because they've been off the gold standard and all this stuff and everything after World War II, and Nixon, or was it Nixon or Reagan? I forget. In 1970, 1971, took us off the gold standard. So you telling me gold was not looked at as a gold was looked at as a lesser asset class than cash? Your bullshit ass paper that you call money, gold was looked at as less than that. Wrap your head around that, and now you'll realize how all this shit is one big ass Ponzi scheme. It's all fake. It's all trying to get over on people. And we have no one to blame but ourselves, because we allow these people to sit back and make up the rules and regulations and all this other stuff and policies about money. Meanwhile, who do you think is going to benefit the most from it? You think they care about the rest of the world? They care about the rest of their friends, stuff that they're making money with. Because when you realize it, they're looking at the rest of the world. They're looking at people that don't understand the concept of money. Like, you guys don't even know what y'all doing. You guys, the second y'all get money, you go blow it on stuff that you know you don't even need. You're irrational. You're emotional. Money takes patience. Money, to understand money, takes time. It takes a person that has control over their emotions. It takes someone that's going to use rational thinking when they're making their financial decisions. You can't make emotional decisions when you're dealing with money. That's why some of these bankers and these people that have a bunch of money look at the rest of us like, hey, y'all know what the fuck y'all doing. Don't worry. To make sure you guys don't fuck up our whole monetary system we got, we'll take care of it. That's why they feel like they're not necessarily better than everybody, but they feel like they're entrusted with understanding how the world should work when it comes to the monetary system, because they feel like they know how money works, because that's why they made a lot of it. They understand the game. But really what it is one big ass game. Somebody made the rules to it, and everyone else is coming along trying to play the game to win, or realizing, fuck this, we ain't gotta play the game to win, let's just cheat. And then it's like, oh man, we got all the money. You know what? We can do whatever we want. There are no rules. And that's what it really comes down to. There are no rules other than the ones that they sit around and make up. It's all made up, man. I don't think people really understand how all this is just made up. And I'm gonna continue to stress that, because it really is. We just sitting back making shit up. And majority of us say, hey, we don't feel like dealing with whatever little bullshit game you made up. You know what? That's kind of too much to think about. I'm just gonna wake up and go to work. It's a little bit easier. And I'll get my money that way, which is fine. If you're that person, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a knock on anybody. It's just to each their own. But if you're complaining about your situation in life and you want to find a way to attain money and get something different, well, you gotta understand how money works. You gotta understand how money works. And not all of us are in a position for it. I mean, I got put in this position for reasons against my control, which if it wasn't for that, I'll still be in busting my ass every day, working myself to death. And I would have been content with that. Maybe. I would have broke again. I would have just mentally broken yet again. Whatever. But it just lets you know what they're doing, man. How is gold a risky asset? Like, wrap your head around that. If you found a gold bar right now, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm rich, motherfucker. I got money, bitches. Right? You'll be like, oh shit, look at this gold coin. I got money. Yeah. Yeah. Some ignorant shit like that, right? You would, man. Yeah, these people are like, oh, you got gold? That's nothing. We treat gold like it is nothing. We need this fiat currency. That makes no sense, man. It makes no sense, because they know if they control the supply of money, they can be as rich as they want to, because they're printing off the money. It's a game. It's a Ponzi scheme. Let's see it. So it says for the newbies in the gold space, allocate gold as metal owned directly by an investor in physical form, such as coins or bars without liens. Claims are any uh, rehypothecation of chains of ownership on it. I said that right. That word right. Unallocated gold or paper contracts, on the other hand, is often owned by banks, but investors are entitled to that gold and avoid storage and delivery fees. Even if you have a, like let's talk about having gold on Uphold, it's a Uphold universal back gold blockchain gold that's on a blockchain and is out of Western Australia. That'll be actually that's better than paperback because at least now you have authentication and transportability. See, you gotta have some, you gotta have a balance of this physical and this digital values of currency in order to really have a more complete monetary system. And you kind of had to kind of wait for the technology to get to a certain point, but really you have to wait till everyone's mindset, right? This whole entire time, these past few decades, the whole mindset has been getting people to understand that, hey, we're gonna move away from this physical stuff, but don't we're still gonna have it as fundamentals. You won't have the gold, but we'll have the gold and stuff and whatnot. And these digital assets, you know, you're not gonna have XRP. You're not gonna have these things. They're not for us. They're for institutions and stuff like that. Now you might be able to make some money off of it. I don't know how long you'll be able to hold on to it. They're probably gonna buy the gold back and stuff like that, or buy the gold, buy the XRP back. We talked about this before on this channel. A digital asset investor talked about this channel on this podcast. I heard other people in crypto, especially people with XRP and stuff, talk about it. How there's gonna be different. There probably will be some situation where they buy it back from us. But I mean, it'll be enough to make us millionaires depending on how much you have. But don't say anything about to become billions and stuff like that. That's why you got to diversify your portfolio because you might make a million from this one thing, but you know that it's gonna come to an end where you're gonna make so much from it for all the reasons in the world, and then you might have something else where you can make another 100,000 or whatever from that. So I have these, and then I have a little bit here, and I have a little bit there, and I have a little bit there, spread out and stuff. Where, like I said, if I get a house, I get a car, that's it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. My kids go to college stuff. There's scholarships opportunities and things like that. My kids already take their ass to the fucking military. I mean, good luck to them. Hope nothing happens to them the same way it happens to me. But hey, there's a probability. If it's meant to happen, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is what it is. So there's other way. As long as I can buy a place for them to live at. And even if I give them my house and I move out and live somewhere else in a smaller apartment or something like that, I can do that as well. But I just want to provide a place for my kids and have a vehicle to take them around to their activities and see their friends and stuff. I'm very content with living my life for them. And once they get old enough and they support themselves, well, guess what? I'm long gone traveling the world, probably disappeared for decades. Outside of talking to my kids and stuff, and if I have grandkids, wherever, that's it. That's it. Because you gotta think about what is the end game when you're talking about money. Are you just trying to have enough money to live off of the rest of your life, or are you just trying to buy a home, have a vehicle, and just be at the basic level? Because it don't cost that much to eat, right? It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And a lot of us shouldn't even eat that much as we do anyway, because a lot of you guys ain't even that fucking active. So I don't know why you're consuming a lot of food when you don't do that much. So it's not really that much, right? It's not really that much, but you gotta have a plan in mind, especially if you're talking about trying to invest in these cryptocurrencies. So and you want to make everybody, oh, I want to make millions, and I'm buying this Lamborghini. I'm not buying no Lamborghini, bro. Where I'm gonna drive that shit at, man? Let's be honest. Where I'm gonna drive a Lamborghini at? A little small town? On what road? Right? Well, I'm gonna go take it to one of these racetracks around here and stuff and drive a Lamborghini. Like, what do I need a Lamborghini for? Right? Hell, I don't even want an Audi. Like, I looked at the Audi e-tron, I'm like, I'm not finna drop $80,000 for the vehicle, man. Shit is a fucking engine with 4 wheels. All right? Right? Right, man? Why? Come on, man. Let's be serious, bro. Why you gotta get all that stuff, man? Get your place to live. Get you have a nice car or whatever, 50,000 something like that. So you have luxury and something of quality is gonna last you a long time, whatever. And then just be done with it, man. To each your own, though. I'm just not, not in material things like that. Like I don't want that shit, man. But yeah, when you talk about crypto and stuff like that, and what's going on in the financial system, you just have a plan. Just have a plan in mind. Like always have a plan. Because you can make some money, or it's just all this banking stuff is set up for the bankers, and the rest of us will just kind of still go along the same way, except for everything, all the financial system, all the stuff will be changed in the background. And so it's actually a nice transition to the next article. This is from the European Central Bank, Europa.eu is on their website. It says financing a green and digital economy, green and digital recovery. There's a speech by Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, at the Brussels Economic Forum 2021. Happened today on the 29th. Huh. All right. Let's talk about something else. But I wanted to point out, because the other day, and there's often I talk about how they'll have a date far off in years down the road, but then all of a sudden they'll launch something new within a couple months, or the next day they'll completely flip the script because they know what they're gonna do. And a lot of these people just take their talking points, they take their narrative, and they say what it's supposed to say, and then someone else that controls them behind the scenes comes out and say, hey, we're doing something different. You go back out there and say something different. And you see it with Fauci. Oh, we don't need masks. The next thing you know, you come back out, oh yeah, you definitely should be wearing a mask. And you see how many times he flipped? Because he's a puppet. Somebody got his hand up his ass. Right? He's a fall guy. You see it happening in real time. Somebody else is telling him what the fuck he's supposed to be saying. And that's what it is. And that's what's going on. So we should really figure out. Because that's why these people flip so fast. And you see what I'm talking about as far as this. So she goes on to say, describes I don't know if these are her direct words. Or I don't know. I'm not sure if these are her direct words or not. Okay, anyway, it says that describes the situation we face today very well. The pandemic has accelerated pre-existing trends at a pace we could never have imagined. There are possibilities for our economy in 2022, which seem at least a decade away in 2019. You want to know why? Because in 2020 they dropped COVID-19. See how they use a crisis to accelerate new innovations, or new infrastructures, or to make a dramatic change. Because you can make a much change as you, or a lot of change that you want if there's a crisis going on. Because everyone is so caught up in emotions that everyone will just lay down and accept everything. We're gonna accept all this digital money without hesitation. Because we saw how long it took in America to get these stimulus checks and stuff. People are gonna want the child tax credit and everything super fast. Everybody's gonna want all their payments super fast. Everybody's gonna be tired of all this stuff. They already built up the pressure where, hey, you really want it now. So all this cryptocurrency, all this digital financial infrastructure, this quantum financial system, all this other stuff, it's gonna happen in the background, in the back end infrastructure and networkers and servers and systems where you won't know nothing about it. You'll just be all like, oh man, this stuff moves so much faster. I'm so happy. Meanwhile, no one stops to think, wait, how the fuck we get here? It goes on to say companies have digitized their activities to 20 to 20 times faster than they had previously thought. I told you, man. It was like, oh yeah, we thought we were gonna take us decades to do this, but actually we came and did this really faster. And they pat themselves on the back, like, oh man, we did such a great job. No, this was always the plan. It says 1 in every 5 work days are expected to move. What? 1 in every 5 workdays are expected to move to the home after the pandemic ends, compared with just 1 in every 20 before. They keep trying to put us in our homes and not leave, man. You talking about population control? They don't want you to fucking go outside unless they tell you to. That literally happened this past year. That's wild. And it says one, yeah, blah blah. It's okay. And the call for greener lifestyles has become thunderous. Having accepted tough restrictions to fight the pandemic, 7% of Europeans are now in favor of stricter government measures to fight climate change. See how they did that to people? They're scared of one thing. Now they're like, oh, well, you guys think the pandemic was bad. Well, we really need to focus on this climate because we're gonna kill the planet and stuff. It's fear, 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 fear. So you just in what she just said, she let you know. As long as there's a crisis, we can jump decades ahead in technology advancements. But it's just a consciousness of the rest of the human species and the so-called modern world really all accepting something new that they're not used to. Accepting change. Change is a hard thing to accept. Human beings resist change because we are creatures of habit. That's our comfort zone. Not everybody wants to not have cash anymore. Yet, more and more where you're going, not just debit card stuff, but was it NFC near field communication? We were talking about technology as far as using your phone to pay for things, and we said a little tap button on your debit card, stuff like that, and also QR codes as well, all different ways. But don't worry, we're just paying that way because COVID. COVID was more just about elections. It was about change, literally about the Great Reset. We can change everything and anything that we want, all infrastructure, digitize everything. We're going to this digital world. I don't know if you noticed that, but come along. We're already there anyway, so we're going to this digital world. I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years you see a fundamental or a huge change and shift in the way our phones are. If you look at some of these sci-fi movies, you see just a phone where it's just like a glass screen and it's just all light on it. Let you know where we're going next. Touchscreen was just the beginning. The whole thing is to have everything light, digital. But that's just my own opinion. So call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theorist. But it says Europe has long waited to shift towards a more sustainable, more productive economy, and we now have the very real opportunity to do so. Why? Because we done shut the fucking world down. We got all these tricks. We got you sedated, and you're willing and ready to accept anything that we say because you just want your life to go back to normal. That's how you take someone down. Patience. You wear them out. Kids do it to parents all the time. To the point where my kids be like, "Oh, Dad, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this?" After a while, I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." Then at one point, all it takes is that one time. And I'm like, "Man, yeah, man, whatever. Get out of my face." And they're like, "Ha, they got you." They had the patience to wear you down. They broke you. And that's what the government does. That's what these monetary institutions, these central banks, these people around the world that we say control the world, that pull the strings from behind the scenes, they have patience. Because they know what they're going to implement. They got all the time in the world to wait. As far as we know, they already know figure out how to clone themselves and or upload their consciousness to the cloud or whatever. Like as far as we know, shit, that's possible. You say it's crazy, but I mean, they keep making these movies telling you what they're doing, but nobody believes it. It says if we capitalize on this moment, the pandemic could accelerate labor productivity growth by around 1% by 2024. Blah blah. There was something else I wanted to read. I think that was it. I just want to point out how easy it is for them to act like they're gonna take something a decade to do, but really they're gonna implement it soon as possible. They just want it full 100% compliance by a certain target date, and they'll use a crisis to speed up something. Think about if you work at a factory, right? And production is going slow, but you're trying to reach this target goal. You're going to reach this target goal by X year or whatever, maybe 5 years from now. But really what you want to do is you want to reach that goal way ahead of time. So you're going to find some way to increase productivity amongst your workers. You're going to find some way to motivate them. And we all know fear is a great motivation. If I tell a bunch of people, if I start firing people off and stuff and start cutting shortages, well, the crisis is coming down and so this pandemic. We don't have enough. We've been shut down. Money is tight and stuff. So we got to find a way to increase productivity, but we don't have enough money to keep workers and stuff. So what does everybody do? Everybody starts busting the ass more and more and more and more, right? Because they already don't let a couple people go. So now everybody's afraid of losing their job. So they start busting the ass. They start working harder and stuff. But meanwhile, you're getting closer and closer to death. And they work you. They use fear to motivate you, to get you to where they want you to be so they can achieve their goals. So now, instead of that 5-year goal they had, it's like, oh, you guys should be excited. We reached this goal within 2 years. So proud of y'all. We're so great. Blah, blah, blah. And everybody feels good, because everybody feels like, all right, we got our goal. Our job feels secure. We're great. Meanwhile, all the people at the top got a bonuses or the extra income that was brought in through your hard work. Seems plausible, right? I'm sure I just pulled that story. I didn't pull out my ass. I heard it from somewhere. It's in a movie, TV show, the past history of different things. Like, it's plausible because that's what happens. That's what happens. It happens all the time. They're gonna lie to you about certain time frames and certain things that they're doing, and this all of a sudden some crisis will happen, and they say no, they'll change all infrastructure. Right? Digital infrastructure is changing right now because of all these cyber attacks. You never heard no real cyber attacks in your life, but all of a sudden they just been popping up out of nowhere, bringing down pipelines and stuff, or oil, gas prices going up and shit. You got climate crisis because you had a winter snowstorm that killed, or that fucked up Texas and stuff, and their electric power grid. And you see how all this stuff happens, right? To get you motivated. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and that's why you can tell someone is doing this by design, because the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over. I mean, I don't know what the statistical probability of those things happening, but I don't do coincidences. I'm just saying, seems a lot of cause and effect. Seems a lot of manipulation going on behind the scenes. But I guess I'm just crazy and conspiratorial, or I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I don't know. Like I say all the time, people shot JFK in the middle of the day, and everybody thought the bullet came from far down the street. The people right there next to the vehicle ran off to a certain direction. But don't worry, we're all crazy for thinking, oh, nah, it definitely was Lee Harvey Oswald that killed JFK. Yeah, yeah, because we're crazy if we think we don't buy that shit. So yeah, when they talk about their time dates and what they're trying to get done, like I said, the UN Agenda 2030, they're trying to get done way ahead of time. Talks about making the city green. I think they mentioned 2030 somewhere in here. Uh, it must not have been this one. I think I've seen it somewhere else though. But no, I just want to point out how they'll constantly talk about we have these target dates, and then they explain how in the past how they were able to achieve such high productivity or do a big change and stuff in a short amount of time because of something that happened, some crisis that happened that they say, oh yeah, this came out of nowhere. There's nothing we could do about that, even though we know COVID-19 that happened out of nowhere because of Event 201. They've been playing this shit for years. So you have article here from, well, no, this is part of the Bank International or Bank for International Settlements, their annual economic report, and it has a whole. It says a bumpy pandemic, which I guess is exiting a pandemic. I wanted to just make up these words. I wanted to sit down and like, hey, this word sounds good. But it goes on to talk about the central bank digital currencies. This shit is here, man. This shit is here. I don't know how more blaringly obvious it could be that they're implementing this shit this year. There's no excuse for nobody like, oh, these cryptocurrencies. No, it's here. All this stuff is here. So it goes in to say different things, consideration they have going on for this. It says CBDCs are best designed as part of a two-tier system where the central bank and the private sector focus on what they do best. So like I said, you're going to come from the BIS first, central banks, and you're going to have your private sector commercial banks, your JP Morgan Chase, your damn it, I can't think of the other ones right now. Goldman Sachs, and there's some other one out there I can't think of either, but you know what I'm talking about. It says the central bank on operating the core. So the central bank will be operating the core system by ensuring sound money, liquidity, and overall security. the private sector by innovating and using its creativity and ingenuity to serve customers better. You mean like a private sector company like, I don't know, Ripple? Hmm. It's it's all right in our faces, man. It's so much in our faces. It's starting to become completely ridiculous how blaringly obvious all this stuff is. I mean, for years we were all looking. We had to look for everything, go through documents stuff, and had to find and try to follow anybody I can on Twitter and anything I can find on the internet, on YouTube, anybody any these crypto channels, stuff like that. Now it's like, this is even on like page 20 of a 100-page document or something like that. This is like, bam, it cut off a whole section for you. This isn't even buried no more, and that's lets you know it's basically over with. They already got it. It's already done because there a whole section is cordoned off in this document and in this report for it. It's not thrown in there in a few lines. It's not talking about, in a light manner. It's nope. This is here. This is what we're doing. Because remember, just this time last year, people would think, oh no, this is not really happening. You see little things here and there. Now, this year, full on blown. Yeah, we're having this. So it goes on and says the most promising design is an account-based CBDC rooted in efficient digital identity scheme for users. So the whole KYC, know your customers, authentication of knowing who your customer is and stuff like that. The privatization that comes along with cash is gone. The anonymity that comes along with cash is gone. They're gonna track and know everybody that every money that everybody has. They're gonna track and know. Unless you're still trying to use Monero to use your things to buy different stuff. I guess if you're criminal activities or if hell, you just want to be a private person, like majority of us want to be anyways. You don't have to be a criminal to want to be private. Who knows how this is gonna work out? Oh well, somebody knows. The rest of us are just trying to figure this shit out. It says CBDCs can meet the challenges raised by the huge volume of personal data collected as an input into business activity. So it goes on to talk about that. Secure identification is also required to promote equal access for everybody. See, we need to know who the fuck you are. Period. We need to know who the fuck you are. You want to deal with this money? You want to be in our monetary system? No. Who are you? We need to know exactly who you are. We need to know exactly what you're doing. We want to know where you're spending your money at. We want to know who you give your money to. Every fucking aspect of your life. Because if you pay attention to someone's bank account, you'll know everything about them. You'll know where they eat. You'll know where they shop. You know what they do for entertainment. You know if they send money to anybody. You know if they fucking buy porn. You know what movies they watch. You know everything about them. Everything. That's freaky, right? That's freaky when you think about it, man. I just blew myself away. Like, oh, wow, kind of scary, man. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do, man. You're supposed to take the system down from the inside, but I don't know, man. Maybe somebody planted a worm in all these viruses and all these cryptocurrencies, but it's blockchains. It's encrypted. The whole point of it to make sure nothing like that cripples the whole system. Let's see. And then it says CBDCs addresses another imperative arising from the centrality of data in the digital economy, that of preserving an innovation friendly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Innovation friendly level playing field. Level playing field. It never goes away. Brad Garnerhouse, CEO Ripple, level playing field. Trump, level playing field. Davos Economic Forum, level playing field. IMF, level playing field. BIS, level playing field. Level playing field is this decade or this century's New World Order. Because before, and when I was growing up, you constantly heard the New World Order, New World Order. In early 2000s, you heard the New World Order. Now, ever since 2000, oh no, these past few years, 2017, 2018, start hearing that phrase level playing field, level playing field, level playing field. which I think it has multiple meanings in the sense of you level the playing field, you destroy everything, and then you level out and then build it back up, or a level playing field. Hey, we're all on the same starting block for the most part. At least we perceive that we're all on the same starting block and we're all equal, and then we can go on about and if you whoever gets further along or builds more or whatnot. I can't believe that's. I'm not shocked. I shouldn't even say I can't believe it. Of course they threw that in there. As I'm even skimming over this, I know I'm missing important stuff. And it says another reason they have it is important that CBDCs be part of an open platform. Okay. We'll keep it together, man. Open platforms build on technical standards such as application programming interfaces, APIs, and programming interfaces. Stuff that you see on your software, how you gonna work it out and stuff like that. And then your UIs, your user interactive or your user interfaces, and how you operate those softwares, how you see them. If I'm not mistaken, it says on a data governance frameworks that grant control of data to users. So data governance frameworks, Hedera Hashgraph is a governance protocol of security. There's a hash right there, lets you know exactly what it is. Algorand is a CBDCs and governance protocol stuff. Then the XRP ledger is the open blockchain distributed ledger technology. One paragraph I just broke down the crypto blockchains or distributed technology and stuff like that. That's gonna help with this, and that's just based off the research and things I've been reading. It's right there. It's right there. Hell, they use the same fucking words, man. They're not even. They use the same words. Open platform. XRP Ledger is an open public blockchain. You can get the source code on was it GitHub or GitHub, wherever one it is. You can get this stuff, man. It's right here. It's right there for everybody to see. Now I seen this, and I thought it was interesting because of what's been going on in the UK, especially with Binance. This is from Cointelegraph. This is from today. So it says actually the Basel 3 was from yesterday. That kicked off. You know what? Now I think about it, I didn't even say when it starts. Man, I can't remember when it starts. I think it starts. I think European Union it starts June 30th, and I think United States America is July 1st, and then the UK is by January 1st of 2022. Yeah, I can't remember where it said it at though, but those are the dates and when it's supposed to. Okay, here it is. So it's saying the regulations be introduced to banks, European Union on Monday, the U.S. on July 1st, and the U.K. January 1st, 2022. And which is the net stable funding ratio regulations. Is part of the Basel 3 regulations. But anyway, so back to this article from Cointelegraph. So it says 13 more crypto firms withdraw licensing applications in the UK. Shutting that shit down. They're like, oh man, if y'all shut down Binance, we're fucked. We might as well just pull our shit right now. Because you shut down the number one exchange in the world, and I think even Hubei, which I think is out of China, I think they even there are kind of shutting down some services and things like that as well. Don't quote me directly on that, but it's something going on. I forget exactly what it was. So this article says United Kingdom Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA crypto licensing regime is reportedly providing arduous for cryptocurrency businesses looking to operate in the country. According to Reuters report on Tuesday, the number of withdrawn licensing applications from crypto businesses increased by over 25% in June. So these exchanges are going to start shutting down. I think Coinbase got approved for custody licensing and custody, thinking in terms of bank, be able to custody, hold assets and stuff. They got a custody license in Germany. So they even letting you know kind of what exchanges they're okay with. Uphold, Coinbase, far as I know, that's it. That was Binance, psych. Not them. I don't know about Hubei. And those are kind of your, and Coinbase is even the largest one. But yeah, it somehow seems to be popular. But I don't even think I don't even think it's one of the largest exchanges. I think it might be like one of the top 20. I don't even think Uphold is up that high. You see how so many exchanges. It's a wild, wild west in crypto. They be saying like it's so many exchanges, so many cryptocurrencies, 10,000 cryptocurrencies. 99% of all this is bullshit. It's all Ponzi schemes, and then that 1% are legitimate, official Ponzi schemes. But I give them, I want to say I give them credit. They are trying to make some fundamental economic basics decisions and stuff how they do this, but it's still fucked up. It's still fucked up. So it says, indeed, Cointelegraph reported near the beginning of the month that 51 crypto firms had withdrawn earlier submitted filings for registration with the FCA. An FCA spokesperson quoted by Reuters said that 13 more companies have pulled out of the approval process, bringing the total number of withdrawals to 64. Since January 2020, the FCA has been overseeing anti-money laundering compliance, blah, blah. And I mean, banks do money laundering too. So don't act like no JP Morgan, Chase, and stuff like that, or Goldman Sachs. Don't act like they're not, Dutch Bank. Don't act like they're not involved in money laundering. Money is money. Oh, you think there's ethics behind all this stuff? No. It's what we do in public and what we do behind the scenes. That's it. That's it. Money is money. They don't care where it comes from. They'll look the other way. They want to sleep at night with a conscience. They'll act like they have no idea exactly what's going on. But they're just going to take the money regardless. But it's interesting that this is happening. It says early in June, the FCA issued a notice to UK consumers about the 111. You want to talk about numerology, man. Fuck. 13. Do you ever pay attention to a numerology and occultic sayings or teachings and stuff like that? The occult, 13 is the number. Freemason, 13 is the number for them. I really should have finished that Freemason book. It wasn't that long. It's only like 90 pages. I really should finish it because I know this stuff, that stuff applies to it. That ancient knowledge, it applies to all this that's going on in the world. And I think that's something I'm gonna start focusing on here in the next few months and stuff. I need to, and I need to not put it behind because 13 more cryptocurrency. Why would you have that as a, if they have all these other numbers and stuff like that? 13. They could have just said more cryptocurrency. But why 13? Why use the number fucking 13? And then consumers, about 111 unregistered crypto companies in the country. 111, 111. But yeah. So you have all these unregistered cryptocurrency companies, these exchanges and stuff. Binance, they come after Binance hard, bro. They come after Binance hard. I don't know what to tell you. They coming after them hard, man. Yeah, they're already in Canada and the UK and stuff. So they be careful with your cryptocurrency if you have it out there on these exchanges because they're coming. They're coming. And all you gotta do is regulate all this stuff. I don't know if Bitcoin or Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin will ever go exactly to zero. I believe the way for Bitcoin to go to zero and not bring down the rest of the market, if they regulate some type of way, or if they tell you exactly who created Bitcoin. They told us exactly who are the people who created Bitcoin, it'll go right down to zero. Because say those people that worked on a project, some people think it's David Schwartz, I'm just throwing it out there. Say there's a group of people that worked on that project of Bitcoin. And then say, I don't know, they decide to go work on something else. Maybe a couple of them worked and made XRP, maybe a couple of them made XLM, maybe a couple of them made Synfin and XDC. You know, maybe they went off to Hologram, maybe they went off to one of these other cryptocurrencies and stuff. Guess what? All those other cryptocurrencies will have immediate increase in value. Because if you know the person or persons that created Bitcoin left Bitcoin and moved on to something else, which I think is in the white paper or something like that, with Satoshi Nakamoto saying that he's done with that project, moving on to something else. If the new project is one of these third generation cryptocurrencies, these blockchain technologies, everybody in the heart, we will hop on it. because that lets us know that without a doubt, this Bitcoin or even Ethereum, this outdated old technology. Let me find the new thing that this person or person has created for Bitcoin went on to something else. So you can see a narrative is being set up. They let you know, hey, we're cracking down and we're ready to move in. These institutions, these central banks, these governments are well, governments is nothing but a strong arm extension of these central banks, anyways. But they're moving in to let everybody know, hey, or to set up the narrative, excuse me, they're getting ready to move in and they're getting ready to take all this shit down. So yeah, majority of all these cryptos will go away. Majority of people will lose money in crypto. But if you pay attention and you go along with the ones that might seem safe because well they have association with people that care about the money and make the financial rules in this country and then around the world because the rest of us don't give a fuck, but we're not paying attention. That's where you should probably put your money at, because if they're sitting there talking to people from Ripple, I don't know what more of a hint that you need. You see Brad Garlinghouse on stage with people from IMF, people from World Bank, Davos, Sweden, the World Economic Forum, all these UN subsidiaries, organizations and stuff. You see him up there with the Bank for International Settlements. I don't know about you. I don't need nothing else to be like, hey, I'm putting money there. Yet for some reason, people still just ignore the obvious. But that's the world we live in. I don't know why. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to insult nobody's intelligence, but it is what it is, man. So lastly, I wanted to talk about this Britney Spears stuff, and I think it's a video clip. I'm gonna get this audio copyright claim on YouTube, but fuck YouTube. They buried my channel anyway, so I don't even think the people I have subscribed. I think I have like 32 subscribers on YouTube. I don't even think they get notifications about my videos anymore. I don't think they get nothing about it. So it is what it is. YouTube buried it and stuff, but that's my fault. I knew what I was doing. I knew I could tiptoe a line, but I'm a rebel. Nah, I'm not a rebel. I just got issues. That's all. I just don't like nobody tell me what the fuck I should and should not say.
Britney Spears is making a plea to end her long-running conservatorship. The pop star spoke to a Los Angeles Superior Court judge yesterday afternoon by...
Sue, every time you see Britney Spears in public, she has these dark circles. She has black eyeliner. And it's like, black eyeliner does not really go when you have this bright blonde hair. I don't know. And there's a lot of people, fans of Britney and stuff, that have been trying to look for clues. And I've been kind of following this stuff for a while. Just reading articles here and there and stuff. Because it's wild to me that something like this can even happen and exist on such a public person. And this is literal legal slave ship. Told you, slavery never ended. It just went into different forms. It just evolved, became more sophisticated, or which some of y'all might call complicated, more complex. Hey, I give credit where credit dues. Fucking brilliant.
Saying that she believes the arrangement is abusive. Lilia Luciano was listening in the courthouse and has the details.
What do we want? Free Britney!
Oh, yeah.
Outside, Britney Spears spoke to a court for the first time publicly about her conservatorship, making bombshell statements about the rare arrangement under which her father, Jamie Spears, legally controls much of her life.
Her father, bro. Yeah, her father. Some of y'all got some shitty-ass parents, man. I know some people directly have some shitty-ass parents, so it is what it is, man. But, it's not just on her father, it's on everyone else around her, too. Fucking nurses, doctors, manager. The manager claims he's not involved in it, but like I said, if money's involved, people have a way of ignoring the obvious and looking the other way to certain discrepancies.
Conservatorship has got to go! Hey, hey!
The singer told the court she wants her life back, wants to end the conservatorship, and that she didn't know she could petition the conservatorship to end. Spears compared the situation to sex trafficking and said she's not here to be anyone's slave. The conservatorship
Not here to be anyone's slave, but the same motherfucker made the song "I'm a Slave for You." You see how they talk in double speak? Everything has more than one meaning. That's why you can't just look at it this way or that way. You gotta look at it as many possible ways as possible. Yeah, I fucked up that saying. You gotta look at it as many ways as possible. That's it. See the many different perspectives. I feel like I'm a slave. Hey, you made the song, Britney. I mean, it's still fucked up. Don't get me wrong. I'm laughing. I have a sick twist of humor, and sometimes the more fucked up shit is, the more I laugh at it because it's. I try not to get so pissed off about this because really, this is really disturbing and really should be pissed off. And also lets you know how all these other celebrities, on Eminem, one of my favorite rappers ever, right? My own personal opinion. So on the Eminem show, he talked about saying goodbye to Hollywood, talking about being done with it and stuff. I'm not trying to rap until forever, so I want to walk away. I just want to leave this game with level head intact. Yeah. Then he goes away, comes back out, drops all these albums and stuff in 2010 and then, or 2009, 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around, I forget when Relapse came out and stuff, and then Recovery. And then he has all these albums and blah, blah. Then he's like, oh no, I'm going to keep rapping until I'm fossil fuel. He said on a BT Cypher. And he's like, I'm going to keep rapping forever. I'm never going to give up. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You see these artists, these musicians, they always are touring and stuff in their 60s, in their 70s. They're still out there making music. I think these people are on a lifetime contract. People get mad about LeBron James saying things and doing the things that he does. He signed a lifetime contract with Nike. What do you think that entails, motherfucker? Like, let's be honest, man. What do you think that entails? A lifetime contract? You're literally signing your life away for money. Because you can have your lawyers and all that stuff, read over everything, but doesn't mean you might have the best lawyer. Doesn't mean something might not be in there and it can be interpreted another way. I mean, I hope he set himself up, but when he comes out and speaks things and he's always in protection of China because he's under a Nike contract. He's an employee. He's an employee in one perspective, and another perspective, he's an owner. But everybody got paid somebody, right? That's what it seems like.
Began in 2008 when there were concerns over her mental health. A recent New York Times investigation found that Spears expressed serious opposition to the arrangement years ago, saying that it restricted everything from whom she dated to the color of her kitchen cabinets.
Color of her kitchen cabinets, bro. We watched her break down. It was a South Park episode. We watched her break down it in front of us. We built her up, we destroyed her, we laughed at it, we made fun of her and stuff. And then we watched her be a slave her whole life. This is remember, this is the former Mickey Mouseketeer, right? Disney star. They got her at a young age and trapped her for the rest of her fucking life. This is sick and disturbing, man. This is legal slavery. And you think it's not, it is. It is because, and that's why I try to tell people, like, slavery is not what you think it is. If you think that, oh, slavery is just the mistreatment of someone or something like that, it's more than that. It's restricting someone's free will, their inability to make decisions for their own personal life and do things when they want to. There's a thin line between an employee and slavery, but really it's about the same thing. You're a slave when you clock in at work and you go to work and stuff. And when you go home, what do? You still deal with work, don't you? You still get calls from people, especially if you've ever been a supervisor, a manager, and stuff like that. You still get calls about work, right? You still do these things, and if you're okay with it, you're okay with it. But let it be your own personal choice as opposed to you're being forced to a situation that you can't escape from. See, slaves in the United States and around the world, they always got compensated. There always were it always was a form of employment. You got something. You might not got the best food, but you got some type of substance, right? You might not get the best shelter, but you got some type of shelter. Did you not? You got some type of water. You got enough to sustain you to keep you going to the next day. They pumped her up full of drugs every day. They put her on lithium. If you don't know what lithium is, that shit's bad. They put her on that shit. They were keeping her fucked up and sedated. So she keep working and working and working. And they threaten her. You know, let them talk. Let them talk.
Really rare that someone like Britney Spears, who's been able to actively perform and make
It's
millions
not rare.
of dollars,
This happens
would be
all the
under
time.
conservatorship.
Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Conservatorship because her father, but this is a contract.
Business and entertainment attorney Seth Berenzweig is with us now to break this all down. Seth, thank you so much for joining us. I think, a lot of people would have not have really heard of a conservatorship until kind of tuning into this whole Free Britney thing.
It happens with older people.
Can you first off just explain what a conservatorship is, guardianship? I suppose they're very similar, if not the same thing. And why is Spears still in one?
Go ahead and say something. Let's see what he says.
Under California law, which is similar to many state laws in the United States,
does she live in California?
Conservatorship is essentially a court-appointed guardianship. And in this instance, it applies really in two realms, a conservatorship over the person and also a conservatorship over that person's financial life. Over their personal life.
So financial life, right? We know money rules the world. So if I control your finances, guess what? I control you. Modern day definition of slavery.
It's extremely rare for something like that to apply to a grown adult. And it's really more commonly applied in a financial situation. It should be noted that this is a very unusual case.
Apply to older people.
Reasons. Britney Spears is about to turn 40. This has been a conservatorship that has been in effect for about 13 years. So it's very unusual in this kind of a circumstance for this kind of a court-appointed process to apply. It usually is used for someone who has a permanent mental disability or someone who was elderly. Obviously, none of those scenarios apply here. And as we heard in the emotional testimony yesterday, she wants this to end as soon as possible.
Can you talk a little bit more about some of her testimony that kind of surprised you, because you kind of know about these things? And you mentioned that typically, it focuses on the financial domain, which is, you can expect that. But then we heard all this other stuff about, her ability to have kids or who she wanted to date. What kind of really?
See how she said it? Like, well, if you expect the financial thing, then that's what it's all about. Like, that's okay. Like I just said, if you could control someone's finance, you could control their whole fucking life. Their ability who to date, well, okay, you can date this person, but this person doesn't make enough money, so you can't really date that person because we don't want that person affecting your finances. We don't want you spending more on that person than that person spends on you. They need to meet you halfway, so you need to date someone with X amount of wealth that matches your wealth. See how your kids, oh yeah, well, you can only have so many kids because you only have X amount of money, and the more kids you have and stuff, and you already kind of, or you have to pay child support to your ex or whatever, stuff like that. So we don't want to mess up this situation. You can apply money to every aspect in your life because money, world revolves around money. So it's not a stretch of imagination.
Well, her testimony yesterday to the judge was really stunning. It appears that there has been a turning point recently because she retained a new attorney. And certainly she's being very well represented right now. I found the most stunning part of her testimony to relate to not only how much of her personal life has been micromanaged, but even the extent to which there's been medical intrusions into her life. She's being forced into taking a medication regimen that she doesn't like. She's being forced to stay on a certain method of birth control that she doesn't want to do.
Costs money.
It's really stunning to see that there's no good reason why a court should use its process to apply this sort of a situation upon her personally. And from a financial situation, it really is stunning to me that her father even has any remote role in this. There's no indication that he has any more business savvy or common sense than she does. Her estate is worth over $60 million. She's much more successful than he is. And this has been going on for 13 years. So she really wants to get this done. Legally, what happens next in the process is that the court has ordered that the next step of the process be sealed. I think that's a good indication for her because there'll be a receipt of personal medical information. And I wouldn't be surprised if this conservatorship is terminated later this year. There's really no basis for it, and it appears to be quite abusive.
It's funny because I'm done with them. Fuck these people. It's funny because they seem like, I can't believe this is happening and stuff like that. And, how are they even able to, what do you mean? The law was set up this way. The law was set, wherever laws in which state that she was governed by when she allowed herself to be governed by when this happened was set up this way. See, they're talking about, oh, she should never be in this situation. We gotta get her out of it. But no one stops and think, why the fuck do laws like this even exist? This is legal slavery. And they're questioning, oh, this should definitely be taken over. This is bad. It shouldn't be gone this long. No, the law shouldn't exist at all. The law shouldn't exist at all. What she had to show that she wasn't medically competent, or they show that she wasn't medically competent, she voluntarily went into this. Like, none of this shit should ever happen, man. If you fuck up your money, you fuck up your money on your own. Let it be. If I fuck up, let me fuck up on my own. Let it be my decision, because that's the only way I'll ever learn. I don't need no one. I don't need no judges, no government coming in, even my own parents. If I get to a certain age, hey, if your own parents, how can her dad be in her life like that? Did he not raise her to be independent? Or did he raise her to be his employee and a slave for him to constantly make money? And everyone else around him enable that situation because they're all making money off of it. Just legal slavery, man. And what she said, she compared to sex, because this is what modern day sex trafficking and human trafficking is. I shouldn't say sex trafficking, but human trafficking. This is what it is. This is what it is. I'm gonna flat out come out and say it, man. It's slavery. It's slavery. You might, oh no, she got millions of dollars. That's not slavery. She only control her own money. What's the point of having millions of dollars if you can't even figure out what fucking cabinets you want in your goddamn house? People don't use their brains, man. They're too busy thinking the grass is green on the other side. They look at someone else's life like, oh, I wish I had what they had. No, focus on your own life and figure out what's good and what's bad in your own life and deal with that. Don't look at someone else's life and try to compare. I look at Britney Spears and I don't think, oh man, she got millions of dollars. I wish I had her life. I look at her like, oh, fuck that. I don't want that. These celebrity stuff, I don't want that. I don't want where I can't go to fucking McDonald's without somebody, I can't go to the drive-thru McDonald's without somebody like, oh, look, oh man, everybody bring out their phone and start taking pictures. Bro, I'm just trying to get these chicken nuggets, man. I don't know why I'm coming here with this nasty ass food anyway. I'm just trying to get something to eat real quick. That's it. Right? I was watching a clip where Cristiano Ronaldo, he did a little joke thing where he dressed up in this he had a little kind of a fat bodysuit and he had makeup on and stuff, and he was like looking like, I want to say like a homeless person in the way they set up, but it just looked like an old man just out there with his dog and stuff, doing little things for money, whatever. And then he took it off, and nobody knew who he was. And the second he took it off, everybody came swarming at him, and he walked off, and everybody stuck around like he's fucking Jesus Christ walking in that bitch. I don't want that. I don't care how much money he makes. I don't want that. Like, that's not something for me. Some of y'all might get off on attention. But, some of these people that just trying to do what they want to do in life, they don't want the attention that comes with it. It's something I think about my kids, because if I want them to be great, I want to be successful, basketball, or wherever they want to be at and stuff, they're going to have to be able to handle attention and keep it away in that bay. Because the more you keep your life sheltered away from all the other regular people around you, the more they put you in this little capsule and they treat you as if you're some little toy on the shelf, like something that has no real human value. They treat you as a slave. Because that's when we talk about slavery, what we're really talking about is the denouncement of someone's humanity, saying, hey, you're just a tool, you're a resource, you're something that we use, you're something that we can attain, that we can a means to an end for us to get more wealth or more money or something out of you, where we use it for your energy, your production, whatever. You're something that we use. We don't recognize your humanity. We don't have no respect for you. We don't even pay attention to the fact that you have any type of dignity, because we don't give a shit about that. That's what slavery is. That's why we really don't like slavery, because the announcement of someone's own humanity and their own free will. But it comes in many different forms. It's not just shackles and chains and the physical ones that you see. It's also the emotional, the spiritual binding ones, and the mental binding ones, right? Depression is rampant in the United States of America. Don't worry. There's some people are under a form of slavery, as they're coughing down their pills and stuff like that, trying to maintain, as they're doing the little things to keep themselves going. Or they're sitting there shoving their face with fast food all the time, and their health and everything's going down and whatnot. being controlled, being manipulated. And I wanted to point out this thing about Britney Spears just to show you guys that it can happen to anyone. That it doesn't even matter the amount of money that you have. If you don't stand up for yourself and if you don't practice independence, if you don't have a good balance within your own life and your own humanity, if you have good homeostasis in your body, if you have a good circle of people around you that actually love and care for you, this can happen to you. And it doesn't even have to be blood because her own father is doing this shit. You see how much he cares about her. Where's Jamie Lynn Spears in all this? Right, that she's gonna let this happen and stuff. I think I was watching something that touched on this. I don't know if I was watching a documentary about Britney Spears or whatever, but I think I remember watching something about Paris Hilton. Yeah, she had her thing on YouTube, and it's like it's kind of the same thing. You become a slave. She just kind of became a slave of her own self, but because of the own character that she created and stuff. It can happen to anybody. So don't sit there and think that the grass is greener. She's performing, so she's doing all the things that she want to do. You don't think she want to take a break from all that, go away for a few years, and come back to performing? Or why do you have to? If you reach a certain level of performance, and there's nothing really higher to get, well, why don't you bring it back down? And just do local. Well, Dave Chappelle got so much to a point. He was like, oh, this is too much, and he came back down, and then he started doing little clubs here and there and stuff like that. But then he also started to come back out a little bit more explosive and stuff, right? So it seems like a fine line you gotta walk where you don't get caught in all this. I don't think people realize it. The grass is not greener, man. Your life is your life. You deal with it. You deal with the cards that you're dealt, and you make the best of your situation. You're gonna have your ups and downs, but hey, at least you're making your own decisions as much as possible, and you're not being dictated and influenced or manipulated by someone else, man. But that's all I got for today. I should be back on tomorrow. If not, I'll update it on my blog site, DAMIEN, DamienJackson22.com. Check that out. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. So until next time.